Morning and welcome to Vancouver Heritage Foundation's Places That Matter plaque presentation number 78 to celebrate Robson Square. I'm Judith Mosley, I'm the Executive Director of Vancouver Heritage Foundation. Vancouver Heritage Foundation is a not-for-profit organisation supporting the conservation of heritage buildings and structures in recognition of their contribution to the city's economy, sustainability and culture. Vancouver Heritage Foundation's Places That Matter plaque project began in 2011 to celebrate Vancouver's 125th anniversary of incorporation as a city. And the goal of the project is to raise awareness about the people, places and events that tell the story of Vancouver's history. We invited the public to nominate and vote online. An independent site selection committee selected the final 125 sites to receive a plaque. We collaborate with community groups, historians and plaque sponsors on each site to help us write the plaque text and plan the presentations. We'll be posting photos taken by our volunteer Rick Horn on our Facebook page. Also, please check us out on Twitter at #PlacesThatMatter. If you're interested in learning more, please visit our website, vancouverheritagefoundation.org, and join us at another presentation or an event. I would like to welcome the Honourable Andrew Wilkinson, Minister of Technology, Innovation and Citizen Services.
Thank you. So it's a pleasure to be here today, and the province of British Columbia, of course, is the owner of these three city blocks from the courthouse through Robson Square, including the art gallery block. And so we have a very fundamental interest in the well-being and future of these properties. I'd like to acknowledge Scott Kemp, the President of the Architectural Institute of BC, and David Duff from the Vancouver Heritage Foundation, and thank you for having us here today. Robson Square is a very important physical and now cultural landmark as it's become woven into the fabric of our city. I think most of us know it was designed by Arthur Erickson, our most renowned architect, and a still alive and very well-known landscape architect, Cornelia Oberlander. Robson Square runs through the full three blocks from the Heritage Courthouse building built about 100 years ago, right through to the 1978 courthouse building behind me. It's the largest single provincial property and public space in British Columbia, and it's managed by my ministry. It includes the provincial law courts, the UBC Robson Square facility below me, and the Vancouver Art Gallery and the Asia Pacific Centre, as well as the BC Supreme Court and the British Columbia Court of Appeal. It's accessible to everyone through ramps and elevators, and we make sure that it's a public space available to the public. From 2004 to 2011, the province invested $41 million to renew this facility so that it would be durable over time and remain a cultural and physical icon here in our city. And we received very strong support during the 2010 Olympics when this area was converted into a public space and became really the beating heart of the Olympic Games. So it's a great pleasure to see it being honored today as a heritage property. And it has a strong future because we have each year 140,000 people, mostly children, who use the ice rink, which is over to my right. So clearly it's still a popular spot, and we intend to keep it that way. Thank you.
I would now like to welcome Scott Kemp, Architect and President of the Architectural Institute of British Columbia.
Good morning. I'm very honored to be here today to talk about Arthur Erickson and Robson Square. A little bit of history about the building. I don't know how many of you here are aware that the building was originally designed or envisioned as a 40-story office tower over there. And that was before Arthur got involved in the project. And I'm sure a 40-story office tower would have served the inhabitants well, but it's not this building. What Arthur did is flip it on its side, and in doing so, he created this amazing amenity for all the citizens of Vancouver. That was the brilliance of Arthur. He was able to turn the pragmatic into poetry, and that's what this building really is, poetry. It's recognized as a masterpiece in civic design here in Vancouver, in Canada and around the world. Now, just a little personal story about Robson Square. When I was in high school, just a few short years ago, one of my teachers had a relative working in Arthur's office, and he very kindly organized a tour through the office for our drafting class. In that tour, I saw a model of this building, this huge model, 10 feet long. Now, it may be bigger in my memory than what it was in reality, but for me, it was one of those inspirational moments that inspired me to become an architect. And that's truly one of the legacies of a great architect and a great building, is the inspiration that it lends to generations of architects. And that's what this building still does. Our generation, or the generations that followed, used this building as inspiration to try and reach that poetry. We may not do it as well as the master did, but this building stays as an inspiration to us, to challenge us. So thank you very much.
I would now like to welcome VHF Board Vice Chair David Dove to say a few words.
Thank you, Judith. Good morning, my name is David Dove. I am the Vice Chair of the Vancouver Heritage Foundation Board. As a young architect, Arthur Erickson's work was a huge inspiration to me. Now 20 years on in my career, I think I appreciate his work even more and really cannot believe or imagine our city without this space. We thank the Ministry of Technology, Innovation and Citizen Services for supporting the Robson Square plaque. Your help supports a wide range of work that goes into the Places That Matter project, from research, writing, plaque production, and coordination of this presentation. If any of you today are interested in sponsoring another plaque, please do contact our coordinator, Karen Estrin, for the Vancouver Heritage Foundation. Before I invite Minister Wilkinson to join me in the unveiling of the official plaque, I would like to read the text. The courthouse, designed by architect Arthur Erickson, 1924 to 2009, was commissioned in 1974 to replace the 1906 courthouse on Georgia Street. During the design process, it is rumored to be said, this won't be a corporate monument. Let's turn it on its side and let people walk all over it. The resulting system of landscape terraces, pools, and waterfalls, making up a vast urban landmark stretching for 3 city blocks, is anchored by the law courts at one end, and the art gallery at the other end, and embodies a West Coast sense of space and relationships. In 2011, the Royal Architectural Institute of Canada, RAIC, granted its prize for the 20th century of architecture to the Robson Square complex, prescribing the concept of a linear urban park, importing nature into the city as a both contemplative work of urban design. This linear urban park concept was completed by landscape architect Cornelia Oldlander in 1983. Thank you again for all our speakers, and now Minister Wilkinson, if you'd join me to the floor.
Sure. Great. There we go. Congratulations. Thank you.